Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 3rd. Hey, we're going to be joined by Tom, Lee, Josh, and Gentry, talk about fishing in your area. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Hey, everyone, this is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 3rd. We are joined by Tom Ott. We're going to talk a little bit of Guntersville. Tom, what's happening on the big lake?
Man, Dano, there's a lot of fish to be caught out there right now. Those fish have really made that push to the ledges, and it seems like most every fisherman in the southeast has done the same thing, right out to the ledges on Guntersville. So, there's definitely a lot of fish out there. They're constantly moving. They're getting run over a lot right now. And they could be tough to catch, but at the same time, there's a lot of fish that are coming out that are fresh and green and really eager to eat. So, it's a great time to be out there and do some ledge fishing. And just let me say one thing, ledge fishing isn't always on the river channel. It's not always on the creek channel. A ledge could be any kind of depth change, drop off. I mean, anything from, 8 foot down to 9 foot really could be considered a ledge or, a depression. But I mean, you got to kind of expand your mind when you see everybody out on the ledges and you don't want to sit there and fish within 50 yards of somebody. Just kind of think about where those fish might be elsewhere in the flats. There's a lot of undulations and you got grass and you got hydrilla coming back. Those are key places, guys, that, there's going to be some big fish. A big worm in the grass and 8-9 foot of water right now used to be fantastic. I guarantee it still is. So pick up your swim bait if you don't want to be in all that crowd, get you away, go over there and eat some milfoil gnats and have fun.
Ledge fishing tends to be really, really current related. What's your favorite technique for putting a few fish in the boat when the current's not necessarily running?
You're just going to have to do, I think the BPT guys really proved, showed some folks what you need to do, and that's be just a little bit different. I really like, I'll be honest, a little Ned head, a 3/8 ounce Ned head is fantastic on the ledges. You can put a lot of fish in there. A shaky head, same deal. There's a bunch of techniques that those guys kind of broke out. Some wacky and some flick shakes, those kind of deals. I just think you have to think a little outside the box. I mean, you got to think about those fish that are seeing, a crankbait constantly coming by their head. And when the current slows down, those fish are going to kind of move off the bottom. They're going to move out of their, out of the feeding mode, or at least the way they're positioned. So you got to do something a little bit different. A drop shot is a fantastic way to put some fish in the boat, but I think a little bit of finesse, a little bit of thought process, kind of move away from where somebody's been fishing, and always think about those angles. That's a big deal as well.
Well, Tom, we appreciate everything. Folks, don't forget, might be time to go a little night fishing soon. Tom, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. Be safe. Tight lines out there. A lot of boat traffic, so you guys watch out. Be safe, and go catch you some ledge.
Hey, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June 3rd. We're joined by our good friend Josh Herron down there in Reaction Innovations land, which is also Logan Martin and Lay Lake territory. What's going on at Logan and Lay these days, Josh?
Man, it's still a grind. I fished a Memorial Day tournament at DNS. It was pretty lackluster. I caught a ton of fish. They were just a little bitty. I think most of our bigger fish have kind of shagged towards their summer haunts for a little bit. But boat traffic makes it a little bit interesting to try to get out there and play in that area right now.
What are you looking for when you're looking for some of those summer haunts? And do you have to hit it early and late? Or is it something you can just brave some stuff and fight some waves and be able to fish?
Man, it really depends on your personal temperament and how much stupid you can handle. So, me personally, it's going to be an early and late thing. I can't stand the Googans. But man, the biggest thing with the Coosa is we've got really steep river ledges.
Yeah.
That old river channel in most of the places, it goes from, anybody who spent a lot of time here, it'll go from 3-4 feet to 22 and 5 feet. So the biggest thing is actually finding some of those softer breaks that you can actually position and set up on. And those softer breaks kind of tend to allow more consistent water flow too. So it kind of positions those fish to feed a little bit better. But
what techniques do you like when you're fishing that kind of stuff?
Dude, I like cranking. Live scope deal is fun, but I really like cranking, but I like cranking really fast too. I throw like a 6XD on like a 7-1, so I've got the eat it or get out of the way theory about it. So, and most of the time when you get multiple fish like that and they position, you can see it hold true on the Tennessee River too. When you get a bunch of fish in one area, it seems like the more competition you can create, the easier it is and the faster you can catch them.
I hear you there. Any finesse type stuff, any topwater stuff going on?
Yeah, I mean, you can always do the drop shot deal or like the hover shot or like a Nico rig, stuff like that. That's still a really good way to pick fish off, especially when water flow has been kind of inconsistent. And yeah, topwater still a great option right now. I caught several on the buzzbait at Logan last weekend. Caught a few on the spook. Like I said, the biggest problem I'm having right now is shallow fish. They're just small, man. It's really hard to get to that 13, 14 pound range with shallow fish right now, and they haven't really set up on the docks as great as I'd hoped either. I was hoping a lot of these post spawn fish would kind of start setting up on docks, and but it seems like it's more of a brush deal than a dock deal at this point in time.
Gotcha. Brother, we appreciate everything. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, buddy.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 3rd. We're joined by Lee Pitts, the crappie king of Weiss Lake, who's known to sling a bass over the gunnels of that Falcon boat. Lee, what's going on right now on Weiss Lake?
Weiss is looking pretty good right now. We had a couple of tournaments over the weekend up there and catching a lot of fish. The numbers are good. You got to land on the right place or two to try to get some of those big ones. There's a few fish trying to come out a little bit wider. We had a tournament Monday there and set out offshore trying to catch some of the bigger fish that are just now getting there. You could grab them. They just didn't want to do a lot, and we had to get back in the shallow stuff to catch our fish. But you can still flip, throw a buzzbait in the morning, flip a jig, flip some kind of critter bait in that grass and on that water, and catch a pretty big fish right now. Why?
I know Neely Henry's kind of got the same thing going on. We had that Coos River team trail on Saturday. We caught a ton of small fish, even fish that were 8 to 10 inches long. Bigger bites were a little bit harder to find for us. What do you think it takes to get a bigger bite at Neely?
I don't know. I saw the same thing that you did, man. I really thought it was fixing to happen because I caught a lot of fish, and most of my fish was flipping up tight, flipping some wood cover and flipping in that grass. And just like you, I bet I caught 30 plus fish. I think a 3-something pounder was my biggest fish I had all day. And even the fish that missed a frog or missed a topwater had a big bite all day on that thing. But man, I really stayed busy. And it's one of those things when you can go and you can fish a place, Neely Henry, and catch fish all day long doing different things, that just shows, man, it's a great fishery. I never hooked up on a big bite, but, man, caught fish all day long.
We saw some people in Palmetto Creek, that Permitter Creek area, that were throwing some crappie over the side of their tin boat. They were fishing some of those concrete abutments. What are you finding out of the crappie bite in general right now on these two lakes?
Especially at Neely, they're trying to pull out, just like with those there at the bridge and the concrete. These fish are coming out of that shallow water, and they're trying to get back out on that main lake, and they're holding on to whatever they can to feed up now. Weiss is the same way. We're having some fish still in that transition at Weiss. They're not quite out on that summertime deep stumps and the brush piles out there. They're holding on whatever they can right now to not really have to make that big run, but just feed up a little bit. Finding a comfort zone. They're coming out of some of the shallow water, hooking up on these secondary points or whatever kind of brush they can find, and just holding there and getting fat, ready to get back out on that main lake.
Sounds like me getting ready to go to the buffet table. Hey, Lee, appreciate everything. We'll talk to you again next week, brother.
All right, guys. Talk to you next week.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 3rd. We're joined by Gentry Gordy, who fishes down there in the southern end of the state. We're going to talk a little bit of fishing on Lake Martin and on Jordan Lake. Gentry, what's going on Lake Martin right now?
Not a lot's changed, Dano. We still have those little bit cooler mornings, and they ain't got too awful hot yet. So, your big main lake seawalls are, just inside of a big pocket. Big concrete walls are still producing some decent fish in the morning times and even, slightly into the afternoon. It's just a matter, can you find some bait? It's been tough trying to find that. Outside of that, though, still your shallower brush piles, they're starting to, transition a little bit deeper as it warms up. But, shaky head and floating worms over the top of those shallow brush piles is still getting bit pretty good.
What's the size you're seeing out of Lake Martin? Is it the smaller fish, or are you still able to put a few good ones in the boat?
Yeah, you can put a few good ones. A lot of times you got to weed through the small ones, especially, when you top water plug. You may pull up and catch, 5 or 6 small ones, and then a 2.5 pound spot will eat it, or, even a largemouth is up there. But, your largemouth to me tend to be a little bit further back in some of those pockets. Your main lake seawalls in the morning is going to produce your spotted bass.
All right, let's talk about Jordan Lake a little bit. I know that lake gets really current related, and the big spots tend to move up into that river. Are we seeing that yet?
Yes, you're starting to see that, up the river, your eddies and where it starts to turn in the rivers and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's going on with your swim baits and even bouncing a jig down some of those walls. Them spots are get up there. They'll eat about anything when you can find them. On the lower end, I'm still going to swim a jig through the grass and even start to punch some of it. Largemouth are still hanging around that, and some of ththose older docks with all the pilings and a little bit of brush around them.
How's the grass? Is it starting to turn green, or we still got some areas that haven't quite started to show up yet?
There's both, but for the majority of it, it's getting greener. You'll see some of those dead places mixed in, but it's turning. It's starting to get just right. But the scattered river grass up the lake is definitely holding some fish as well.
Sounds like it could be a little bit of fun. Is the face of the dam turning on yet?
I haven't been up there yet, Dano, to tell you the truth. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll see if I can make a phone call and find out up there.
Well, Gentry, have a good rest of your week, brother. We'll talk to you again for next week.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 3rd. Thanks to the guys for everything that they do every week to put a few more fish in our boats. And don't forget, we are full tilt, wide open, full summer hours at Bucks Island. Come see Katie, Patrick, and Melissa in the sales department. If you're looking for parts, go see Pat and the guys in that area. Angela and Misty is back, and Brittany down in service. Of course, Israel will help you ever he can. And we got Colin and Jamie up in the loft. Come see us. We're happy to help, and we're grateful for you because you are the best part of Bucks Island.